Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show.
Today, the first part of our ranching thread of shows on the Urban Cowgirl channel, shows season 27. We're going to have a thread of ranching and a thread of farming. And this is the first ranching thread. And each time we do one of these, we'll try to explain in the description of the show what it is we are concentrating on. And then each show will have probably several different episodes, different horses being trained for ranching. Now, Eve is my best rope horse. And in season 26, close to the end of the season, we took Eve out to the uncovered arena on a non-rainy day. And I talked a little bit about ranch roping. Can you bring me my ranch rope? I like ranch roping. I like it much better than chute roping because it's certainly more realistic. It is a long, not too heavy, not too tightly wound lariat that can be used to rope a critter. Let me drop it over here. To rope a critter from a long distance because you don't know where they're going to go, whether your horse is going to take you to follow them when you have no chute. Chute roping, the cattle usually come out of the chute and make a straight path for the other side of the arena. In ranch roping, you're doing it in a fenced area usually, and you need to have a long reach. So it's really a different skill for the roper. It's a different kind of rope. And the horse has to understand that not only will they be trying to put you in position to rope the cow or the steer on a straight path, but you may ask that horse at the same moment to go over their haunches and turn 180 degrees because the cow may go there. It is a much more realistic but much more useful skill when you're ranching. Now, my loop is a little too long, so here's what I'm going to do for now. I'm going to tuck it under my arm, which ropers usually do when they have a big loop, and you don't want to get your loop stuck under your stirrup, especially if you're on a fast-moving horse going after a fast-moving critter. Eve hasn't been in here to do roping in years. I don't even have my double reins on, but you see what she's doing? Okay, I'm asking her, I've got my roping reins on, which are easy to handle when you've got a lariat in your hand. I'm going to ask Eve to back up. Good. This is going to be really a lightweight session, showing you tack, showing you prerequisite skills, showing you the exercise that we're going to present to Eve at first in this season. Now, notice that I don't have a roping horn. I happen to be in my flat saddle, but it doesn't matter. I don't intend to dally, and I'm comfortable in my flat saddle from my English Morgan Class A horse show days. So I am going to now, I've got a good team today. See what happens. I've got the lariat loops in my left hand. I'm going to look over and give Eve an indication with a very slight pressure on my legs. Stay in the center. Stay in the center. Whoa. Look. Neck rein. Whoa. Good. Angela, can you walk out to the middle? This is my roping horns that we have various ways of moving. Okay. Oh, Eve thinks she's supposed to follow it, which she is, but not until I give her the go-ahead. And the go-ahead will be something as simple as moving my reins over her neck. I'm going to teach her today to rate for ranch roping and maybe to throw a loop or two. on this sand in the square pen and also in my uncovered arena, it's very hard to pull anything around with the electric bike or with the ATV that we have. We have a child's battery operated ATV. But to have somebody pull it along on foot is an exercise that's well worth the effort, because your horse has to realize that if the cow or the steer goes slow, the horse is supposed to go slow. And then if the horse happens to end up on the wrong side of the roping horns, well, then either I have to reposition my horse or I have to be ready to rope in a very weird position, like over her head, over her neck. And it's quite a variety of situations that one could have in doing this particular ranching task. And we are here in our urban rural setting, doing it on a very small ranch, only 7 acres. Okay, now I'm going to ask Eve again. You see, she's been good. She's getting a little bored. I'm going to ask her to look over her ears. I'm going to ask her to back up by sitting on my pockets and out and in with my legs. Whoa, good. And I just stopped those cues, and she stopped moving. I'm going to walk Eve up to the roping horns, and then I'm going to ask her to give me a good whoa. I want soft whoas and soft goes. Looking over her ears, a little bit of a squeezing, staying in the center of the saddle. Whoa, whoa. Had to tug a little bit. Good. Now I'm going to look over to my left, neck reiner over her haunches. Don't want her to go forward, I want her to go to the left. Whoa, nice, nice, Eve. Now in ranch roping, roping from this position is not unusual. You don't know what the cow or the steer is going to do next. Look at Eve's ears. She hears it. She's usually pretty good about that. Tuck it under my shoulder again so it doesn't get stuck under my boot and my stirrup. Okay, I'm going to now ask her to move her haunches over by putting my left leg behind the cinch, looking actually behind me on my left. As soon as I looked, she knew what I wanted from her. Notice, by the way, that we do have a breast strap on, and we've got a cinch holding it up at the correct angle. The correct angle being, we want this breast strap not to be going straight across the shoulder line, but up with the shoulder line. So trying to make do with this flat saddle, we've made do with all different kind of tack here, trying to accomplish a proper tacking situation for ranch roping. Now, I've got a lot of coils in my hand because the ranch rope is so long. Fortunately, I have my roping reins on, which are short and thin. I'm going to make it so that if I throw this loop, because I'm in a good position to throw it, I'm on the left side of the horns. I did okay, but I didn't catch the horns. But that's okay. That wasn't my objective. My objective was to let Eve feel the thrust of my throw. And the next objective is to let Eve realize, I'm going to make a smaller loop for that. Notice, by the way, that I have my spurs on today, but with Eve, I try not to use them. She is very sensitive with the legs, but if I need them, I can have them there. It's better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. Angela, walk around very slowly in big arcs. I'm going to tell Eve, it makes noise, but I want you to follow it. I'm looking at it. Okay, stop. Whoa. Nice, I got a nice whoa. I'm going to back her. I'm going to get her used to backing every time I stop. Good. Okay, another big arc. I'm looking at the roping horns. I don't want her to go too fast, so I'm tugging. I'm going to cut across here with her front end. Nice. See how it's going up and down? That's okay. Whoa. Okay, you can whoa. I like the way Eve was real good about allowing that roping horn to look kind of wild and not get riled up. Those horns are so far apart that I knew there was no chance of me roping it with that loop so small. So here I go again with this trick of putting the loop under my armpit. It's all right. Let's see how she reacts when I drop it. Swing it. And very carefully, very slowly, pull slack. And I did get 2 horns that time. Okay, Kyle, you could take it off the horns. This is not a breakaway Honda, by the way. Last time at the Uncovered Arena, I had a breakaway Honda. Thank you. Okay. You can see where I'm headed, if I can get there. I'm going to be carrying my loop, carrying my coils in my left hand, following this moving object at a very slow pace at various different paths. And I'm going to ask Eve to allow me to try to rope those horns from any which position. Eventually, I'll put my Western saddle on, have a horn on my saddle. Once I rope, I'm going to ask Eve to allow me to stop her and feel the pull of the dally on the horn. The dally being you take your rope and very carefully wrap it around the horn in such a way that you can unwrap it if you need to very quickly. But the purpose of dally is to stop the moving object. So we're going to try that too. That may take all of season 27 whenever we do ranching, the ranching thread. I might try it with Sadie, Eve's daughter, and Semi, but for now I'm going to concentrate on using Eve because she's the biggest Morgan that I have. She has a very good disposition for this kind of thing, and if I do get to go to any kind of ranch roping where there's a large herd of cattle, I believe that she will be a good disposition horse to have under me. And that's all for today.
See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.